that the goal of this conference is not to assume every informal business must become formal. That would be too simplistic. My argument is that informal businesses can move from merely surviving to truly thriving by adopting better practices, building stronger networks, and upholding responsible standards. This is perhaps the kind of formality required of those in the informal sector, not necessarily registration with every agency or conformity to rigid systems, but the discipline of keeping proper records, the habit of building reliable networks, and the commitment to responsible standards. These are the practices that give even the smallest enterprise stability, credibility, and room to grow. Why the conference matters to medium and large size businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, from medium scale and large size firms that are past survival mode, you face a different set of constraints in terms of governance, financial reporting, export readiness, tax strategy, digital adoption, and the like. These determine whether your growth stalls or accelerates. The nature of these three-day conversations is designed to move beyond mere talk. I believe that the conference will present you with some new perspectives and practical guidance to sharpen your business decisions, particularly in the sessions with Exim Bank and the Ghana Export Promotion Authority. I believe you will be exposed to real options of financing and assessing export markets. There will be a dialogue with the Ghana Revenue Authority as part of the conference. This is not just a conversation about regulations, but about understanding how smart compliance and proper tax planning can actually give your organization room to grow. Things have changed or are gradually changing. Tax accountability is now a shared responsibility, which is why even festival goers in Cape Coast are now reminded to demand VAT invoices on all transactions. I think you get the point. We all agree that credible account opens doors. It's open doors to investors, doors to banks, doors to partners who want to know who they can trust. Yet too many enterprises falter at this very point, not for lack of ideas, but for lack of financial discipline. This is why the presence of the ICAG is so important at this conference. And so too is the presence of the many other professional bodies represented here today and in the next couple of days, each bringing its own expertise, insights, and standards to enrich our conversations and strengthen the way we do business. While I may not mention each one in detail, your contribution to these conversations is deeply valued and essential. My concluding thoughts. So why this conference and why now? Like I said, these are not abstract conversations, ladies and gentlemen. We are hosting this conference as part of Heritage Christian University's 10th anniversary because a decade of institution building calls for action, turning scholarship into service, ideas into systems, and conviction into measurable impact. We honor Dr. Honorary Kosa Douglas Boateng because his life demonstrates how conviction in God innovation, and responsible practice produce real, tangible, profitable results. And this gathering is our way of translating his lessons into practical support for artisans, for entrepreneurs, for students, and growing firms across Ghana and beyond. Thank you for choosing to be part of this conference. May these 3 days move conversation into concrete action. A warm welcome to you all once again, and God bless us all.
We can do better than that. And supporting Christian missions across Africa. He's also the Chancellor of Knaresford University and strong advocate for faith-driven leadership. He is a visionary entrepreneur, philanthropist again, and a Christian leader whose impact spans across business, ministry, and community development in Africa. He is the group chairman of Continental Christian Traders Limited, a dynamic group comprising of the Glaston Estate Limited and CCT Limited. Under his strategic leadership, these companies have grown into multinational enterprises with operations in Ghana, Togo, the Gambia, Senegal, Equatorial Guinea, Mauritania, Guinea-Bissau, and Liberia. Beyond business, he is deeply committed to evangelism. Wherever his companies operate, he plants churches and sponsors local missionaries, extending both commerce and gospel across the continent.